Yes, sir. They just grow up so fast, don't they? Not fast enough. Gregory will now be talking to you a year from now. Look back on this. Declan, you man. I imagine that it'll get to the point where they will want you to so much. So, anyway, who gets you? Handsome.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, what?
Did you know Anchor distributes our podcast to Spotify and Apple Podcasts free of charge?
No way. Did you also know Anchor has everything you need to make a podcast, including tools and tips on how to grow your audience and fan base?
Yes! Anchor is the best way to start and grow your podcast for absolutely free. Make sure to check out Anchor and download the free Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Goodbye! Hello, wonderful people. Yes, we are back with another episode of The Rhodes Less Traveled. I am the swift and nimble Declan Rhodes, and that is the delightful and daring...
Grateful Gregory Rhodes.
Oh, you added a word in this time. Going off script, improvising. I see you. Before we get started, I wanted to play a little message that... First, I should just say that doing this podcast has been an incredible experience, and we are so thankful and grateful for the resources that we have to be able to put this together. And the amount of people who have reached out to me or Greg or any one of our family members giving praise or anything like that has been astounding, and we are so thankful. And I just wanted to play this little message that I got on Anchor. Apparently you can send voice messages on Anchor. I didn't realize that. But yeah, I wanted to play a little voice message that one of you, well, I'll just play the message and yeah. So here's this.
Hi Greg, it's Colleen. It's been a long time since I've seen you, nearly 30 years. The young Aussie girl at the Lions Den camp, and you opened your heart and with great spirit and welcomed us all into your life. I'm really saddened by what you're going through. But I know with God's help that all will be fine. And so glad that you've got such a lovely family around you. Take care.
Okay, that was the wonderful voice message from a Colleen Osmond. So I just kind of want...
just from Aussie. She said Colleen from Aussie. Oh, Australia.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. So I detected an accent there. So she's from Australia?
Yeah.
Okay. And she mentioned a Lion's Den camp.
Yeah.
So is that a camp what was that?
In high school, summer of 1988, summer of 1989, summer of 1990, and summer of 1991. I worked at a handicap camp in St. Louis, Missouri. Well, it was outside of St. Louis. It was in Imperial, Missouri, but for all intents and purposes, it was in St. Louis. But I worked at a handicap camp for 4 years, 4 summers.
Okay.
And I started from assistant counselor to rope director or to counselor. The 3rd year I was in charge of the ropes course. And then my 4th year I was a unit director. But anyway, there was other counselors and activity program people who came from all over the world to work at this handicap camp.
Yeah.
And so Colleen, she said she was from Australia. We had like 4 people from England. We had a young lady from Ireland. But it was people came from all over the state of Missouri and the world to work at this handicap camp when we were teenagers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is so cool. That is so cool. I did not know that. So she was a helper?
She was a counselor.
Or a counselor? Okay.
Yeah, she was a counselor. Then the next year, I'm trying to remember, was she another counselor or did she do an activity program? But but she's from Australia and your podcast has reached her. That's that's outstanding. That's wow. I never, if you'd have told me at the beginning of this that was going to happen, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's
crazy.
amazing.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
but yeah, so Colleen was a coworker at this handicap camp
Yeah.
I worked at.
Yeah. Well, Colleen, if you're listening, we just want to say thank you for your wonderfully sweet message.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very heartfelt, and we feel your words and your support all the way from Aussie. So yeah, I just wanted to play that because again, this podcast has been such a great experience, and I love that we were able to reach people from your life that you not necessarily forgot about, but just like you've come in contact with so many people, and people are hearing your story.
Yeah, well, it's actually she's in a picture with me and some other couple other camp people, and that picture has made it on a memory blanket my mother-in-law made for me, and it's on a picture on Mom's Google Home thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was able to, when we listened to that, I was able to immediately get up and go show Mom a picture of her. And it's like, that's Colleen.
Oh my God.
It's like, what are the chances?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your message, Colleen. Love you reaching out. It really means a lot to both of us. So kind of transitioning, a little smooth transition. You mentioned you did this through kind of your high school.
Yep.
So kind of today's topic, I just wanted to do a general umbrella episode about your experience in high school, because your experience was drastically different than a lot of people, but also your siblings and a lot of your immediate family growing up. So kind of just our pre-cue to get warmed up. What was your high school mascot?
Airplane.
It was an airplane?
Yeah, Lindbergh Flyers.
The Lindbergh. Oh, okay. The Lindbergh Flyers. Do you know if it was named after Charles Lindbergh?
Yes, sir, it was.
Oh, it was.
In our common area where the cafeteria is, it's a big old airplane, and I think he may be standing by or in it. That terrible. I should remember, because I remember the plane, and I hope they have not got rid of that with upgrades and updates. But yeah, and then it had the story, a side of it about his son and him.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy. It was named after Charles Lindbergh.
That's wow.
Lindbergh Flyers.
Dang, that's crazy.
South County, go.
Represent. Actually, wait. Maybe my brain might be making this up. Is he from St. Louis? Do you know?
Again, shame on me. I do not know.
That's okay.
Yeah, I should know.
We can look it up later.
Yeah.
So what years did you attend your high school?
Yes. That would be 1984 to 1989, 84.
Okay.
No, 1985, I guess. I was a year. Because I graduated in June of 89 on time. So that would be 85, 86, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. Yep, 4 years.
Oh, okay. I also just looked it up. Charles Augustus Lindbergh, actually, funnily enough, was born February 4th, the same day as McKenna. Yeah, my sister, and yeah. So he was born actually in Detroit, Michigan. And he died in Hawaii. But it says Lindbergh covered the 33.5-hour, 3,600 statute mile flight alone in a purpose-built single-engine Ryan monoplane, the Spirit of St. Louis.
Wow.
So yeah.
Small world.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is, it's crazy to...
Oh my goodness, Declan. Wow.
Yeah. So, okay, continuing on. So can you kind of talk about... So... all of your siblings went to a different high school. How exactly did you end up going to the Lindbergh High School that you did?
Well, yeah, my other 5 brothers and sisters went to what we call neighborhood schools, or inner city.
Yeah.
They went to the schools where we lived, or where they lived at the time. That was in their district or area. They went to school, and I attended the same schools as they did, kindergarten through 8th grade, where the neighborhood where I grew up in. As we were getting to high school, I remember a little talk about the DSEG program, desegregation, where they took inner city students and bust them out to county schools, predominantly white, and vice versa. I remember getting something in the mail. I don't know if my mother filled that out or if I filled it out and gave to her.
Yeah.
But somehow we were contacted that our application was approved and that for the fall of that year, I would be attending Lindbergh Senior High School in South County, Missouri. More information to follow to come. And I was excited about it. My mom, I don't recall being excited, and so that's why I'm like. But it would had to been the parent to initiate. Well, not necessarily initiate it, but to accept it.
Yeah.
I was excited because one, it was going to be something that was totally different.
Yeah.
So most people would be like, yeah, I'd be excited, but I'd be a little apprehensive because I don't know what to expect. I was not apprehensive. I was not scared. I was new experience. And from what I read, what I heard, very limited what I heard, it was going to be better than where I would have went.
Yeah.
Which would have been Vashon High School. The two biggest black high schools in St. Louis, inner city St. Louis, at the time I was that age was, they had more than two black high schools, but rivals for athletics and whatnot. And then in the neighborhood I lived in, it was going to be either Sumner High School or Vashon High School. And my baby sister, which is still older than me, and my middle sister, they both went to Sumner High School.
Yeah.
And then my nephew who was living with us and my brother would have went to Vashon High School. So I would have went to Vashon High School.
Is there a reason behind that? Was it like boys and girls or just...
No, just the age difference.
Oh, okay.
And well, not the age difference. Probably where they lived in the boundaries, the neighborhood, because like so many people would have went to Sumner, so many people would have went to Vashon. Yeah. So that's how that was. But the rumors and stories that I heard about both of those schools and being a freshman and just being a student were not good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They were very. If you were athletic. And let's say you were a basketball player, you wanted to go with Vashon, had my whole high school career and sometime afterwards. So we're talking about even in the 90s, that school was prolific in basketball. It just, they were the school in basketball. They had an outstanding basketball program.
Oh, yeah.
And Sumner High School was prolific in football. Oh, man, had a awesome football team. So both schools, and there were other different athletic and academic programs that both of those schools shined in, excelled in. Yeah. But if you was just your average Gregory Charles Rhodes, and not to say if I would have been an athlete or wanted to be an athlete, you wouldn't have had those troubles freshman year. But it was not nice rumors and things coming out about those schools.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting to think about, we always think of like, obviously cliques still exist and social groups exist in any kind of social setting. But this is also kind of a very speaking out against bullying and talking about mental health for students and kids of all ages. So, I mean, yeah, I can't imagine. So you're set to go to Lindbergh in the fall. Did you know anyone else going at all?
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
I did not.
Were you scared?
Where the 8th grade and Stevens Middle School, where I went to talking to classmates and stuff, there were a handful of us that were going to be going to DSEG schools. Yeah. But none of us was going to the same schools. Yeah. But yeah, like a good friend of mine, Ronald Haney, he went to Pattonville, and man, hearing his stories about Pattonville, from the time he started telling them to the time we were to graduate from 8th grade was just, wow. It was just phenomenal. It was just exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, I told what I had known and what I had read of Lindbergh. And like I said, I was excited, but I didn't have exciting stories or tales that Ronald Haney had.
Yeah.
And then my best friend, Donnell Walters, he went to health and something school. He went to, and he was excited about that. But yeah.
Yeah.
So scared. You said that was. So was I scared? No other student, no other classmate was going. No, again, like I said, I was excited. I was super duper excited to know that I got accepted one, and that's where I was going for my high school career. That I was not going to be going to Vashon.
Yeah.
And that is hard for a lot of family, neighborhood kids, and if we want to make it racial, that was then at that time, and now that I hear myself say it now, that is hard for Black people to hear.
Yeah.
That I was excited about going to this predominantly white school and not going to a Black high school.
Yeah.
And I get that, but that's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, new experiences, new challenges that you'll face. I'm also thinking just like kind of mentality wise, because up till now you had been with predominant or all Black classes.
Yes, sir.
So like just thinking of like, I'm going to be interacting with more white people, and like, was there ever any like, oh, I don't know if I'll be accepted or if I'll be ostracized, or like, you know, I mean, this is the 80s. So yeah, 20 years before, you know, civil rights movement, and racial disparities are still going on, obviously. But were there any like kind of things like that you were thinking about, or?
No, excellent question, Declan. No, I'm serious. I mean, and now looking back, and I'm 49 to say, I had no apprehensions whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, just call it blind faith, maybe. But
Yeah.
I had not one. I didn't have a second, minute, hour, or one day jitter about, man, I'm going to this all white high school or predominantly white. Well, it was all white, and then the Blacks was bust in just like me. And Lindbergh, for the record, Lindbergh had less than 1% Blacks even in their school system, not just the high school, because the school system, they had Sappington Middle, and they had other schools, middle schools, junior highs. And so the school district of Lindbergh, the high school was Lindbergh Senior High, but the school district, just like Ozark School District, Springfield Public School District, the district had other schools, and all together they had less than 1% Blacks that attended their school. But I didn't have 1 minute of jitters.
Yeah.
Not 1
Just
minute
excitement.
of jitters.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so your first semester, is there anything that kind of sticks out, or you think about, or just like your first day? Anything that kind of comes to mind?
Yes. And one thing I'll have to say, so we can just get it out there and get past it. Now, like I said, we were hearing stories and stuff about other people's, where they were going to go and what they were going to do. And that handful of us Black students at Stevens Middle School, that late spring of 85, I guess I said, what we did hear unanimously and abundantly and overpoweringly from other classmates and some teachers was that how we were going to be treated at these white schools, all white schools or predominantly white schools.
Yeah.
Now, no teacher said anything derogatory, but our classmates, our friends, and people from our neighborhoods, they were very adamant on what they knew we were going to experience. And the biggest topic, or the biggest thing I remember, unfortunately, was friends and classmates and neighborhood kids was like, yeah, you're going to that white school. They're going to treat you like this. You're going to be called nigger. And if one of them white kids ever call you nigger, you better punch him in the mouth. You better just right off get that done right then, because you're going to hear that word and you're going to be called. They're going to spit on you. They ain't going to talk to you, and that's what you need to do. Not like, whoa, man, we're happy for you. Hope you do great things out there. Hope you go and represent well. And no, that ain't what we heard. That ain't what I heard. No, I just heard about the negativeness. I just heard the racial part of it.
Yeah.
And even with that, again, I was excited. So, like I said, I was an idiot because they people were like, So what I remember, did those things happen? One of those things happened. I was called a nigger by a young man, and that but makes it sound like I'm giving him a reason or giving him an excuse.
Yeah.
And I'm not, but just that young man was uneducated.
Yeah.
And he didn't know.
I mean, anyone who uses that word out of their, well, sorry, not anyone. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes.
He had never been around a black person.
Yeah.
Or black people. And he didn't say the word in a derogatory or inflammatory way or offensive way. Again, that's what I'm saying. I said the but so people are like, where are you going with this? Well, okay, he didn't say it in a mean way. That doesn't authorize him to still say it. He said it because of movies he had seen or shows he had seen where black people called one another, hey, what's up, nigger? What's up, my nigger? Hey, which happened every day where I grew up in and still happens today. Yes, in 2020. But anyway, so he did it as an accolade, as a form of friendship.
Yeah.
And he didn't know the difference.
Yeah.
And that young man was a friend of mine, my freshman through senior year, really. Good friend, no. But we were classmates and we were friends. We see each other in the hallway. We give each other high fives or hey, whatever. He talk about track, cross country, what I did, and I talk about hey, how was hockey because he played hockey. But enemy, a foe, somebody that hated me because of my skin color, that was never Matt's issue.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad that he wasn't meaning malice with the use of that word towards you. Now they had kind of talked about like you possibly receiving some physical altercations or getting spit on or something. Did anything like that happen when you were there?
Declan, not one of those incidents happened. My 4 years at Lindbergh High School, I never was spat on. I never was cursed at. I never was called a nigger, with the exception of what we had. And like I said, he was saying that, and hey, and that wasn't like the first day that Matt said that. It was like months into my freshman year, and we had already became friends or acquaintances, and we liked each other and did stuff and talked about stuff, So that, but I had never been spit on. I had never been cussed out. I had never been told that I was subservient to them. Yeah. That they were better than me. I never once heard that or saw that from classmates or other white students in that school at Lindbergh. Never. The teachers were very accommodating, very encouraging, and I even had a couple of teachers, and they presented it in a nice way, not to stereotype me, but they said, hey, if you don't understand something or I'm going too fast, I know you students don't really like to raise your hands because you don't want to be categorized or labeled as a nerd or whatever. Yeah. But if I'm ever going too fast or you don't understand something and somebody else doesn't understand and they haven't asked, and just, hey, don't hesitate to just hold back in class for a few seconds and let me know, and I'll try to help you
Yeah.
I had several teachers say that to me. And again, they didn't do it in a way like, hey, I know you're from the inner city. You're slow.
They were trying to help.
Yes, they
be
were.
helpful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh.
I had an awesome experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I had an awesome experience.
Good. That's good. That seriously warms my heart so much to hear. And I know we've talked about so many times you've faced animosity from so many resources and things, but it's good that, I don't know, I guess go Lindbergh for being woke enough. And I mean, again, it's just like, I keep thinking like this is the 80s, and yes, it's again like 20 years after start of the civil rights movement.
But you're accurate. It was pro-event racism in the 80s.
Yeah.
And throughout my high school career.
Yeah.
I just didn't experience at Lindbergh. Now, there were other black kids who got on the bus because all of us was coming from the inner city.
Yeah.
Even though I was the only one from my neighborhood, there were other blacks who were being picked up from other neighborhoods. So, I mean, there was a busload of black kids that I went to Lindbergh with.
Yes.
And
would you say you got pretty close with them?
No,
Oh,
I did
okay.
not.
Interesting.
One young man I did, Marvin Goodwin, who became a good best friend to me, Marvin Goodwin. But I did not really bond with any others because again, and I hate to say this because somebody's out there listening is like, oh yeah, whatever. But unfortunately, the kids that I was on the bus with, not if it is a big school bus, let's say 50 kids. Not all 50 kids was like this, Declan, what I'm about to say. So I want your audience to understand that. Not all 50 kids were like this. But there was a handful or two handfuls of students who were like this and who they say the empty wagon or whatever makes the loudest noise or something like that.
Yeah.
Forgive me the analogy. But it was a couple of handfuls of students who did not have good experiences at Lindbergh, according to them.
Yeah.
According to them. And they hated it. They didn't want to be there. Pause. I say, if you didn't want to be there, why didn't you leave? But I don't know. I don't know the particulars. But yeah, that was a couple of handfuls of students. I did at 50 on that bus ride for 4 years, heard about how white America is the ultimate enemy of us blacks, of black America. Mm-hmm. And that, you know, all we are to them is niggers, coons, and slaves.
Yeah.
And anything that you were talking to somebody else on the bus about, and if you was overheard and it was something positive about Lindbergh or something happy or nice, or like those teachers talking to me, if I was talking to another student or students about, hey, this is what we did today, or this is what I experienced, those couple handful of kids would just immediately, like flies to manure, they were on you. And they were like, you Uncle Tom, you sell out. They don't like you. What are you talking about? Oh, they're doing that just because to make you feel like you're wanted or liked behind your back. While we're on this bus headed home, they're talking about you, nigger Rhodes. And so, yeah. So, but not all, like I said, not all 50 kids on that bus was like that. Some shared experiences, some didn't. Do I think the ones who said they had problems, I believe them. I mean, because you heard of stuff.
Yeah.
I never witnessed it. That doesn't make it right. But also I say to this is it's how you carry yourself, how you conduct yourself, what energy you're going to get, negative or positive.
Yeah.
And so that immediately might make some of your listeners think, oh, you're saying so they deserved it because how they act. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I knew how those young men and young ladies acted in school and on a bus first and foremost, and what they said and their demeanor. And so when you heard their stories of what happened to them, you believed them.
Yeah.
But you, in the back of your head, in the deep crevices of your mind or conscious, you wonder, like, what did they do to initiate that? Because this was happening to them, openly.
Yeah.
It's not, according to them, it was not secretly or on the down and low. You know, they were called niggers daily or whatever. And again, like, you know, but I never experienced that. The majority of people that I heard on a bus who were sharing stories didn't hear that either. But we knew it was out there, I guess. I guess we say we never personally heard or saw it, but knew it was taking place. Because we heard other white students and friends that we'd be in class or we'd be on the track team or the cross country team, and they'd be talking like, yeah, that group that group there, they're ignorant, they're racist and whatever. That's what other kids were saying about the other white kids.
Yeah.
White kids. So like I said, it was prevalent when you say 80s, late 80s. Yeah, racism was very prevalent.
Yeah.
But that's the experience I had.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of mentioned, so would you consider yourself throughout the 4 years you were at Lindbergh, were you more introverted or extroverted? Were you more of like a wallflower, or were you sociable with like kind of a lot of different people? Because just kind of comparing, I was a very sociable person, and a lot of people in my high school knew me. One, because I think I was, one of the few black kids in Ozark. Two, I could make people laugh, so people remembered that. And three, I tried to show everyone, as corny, cheesy as it sounds, like the golden rule of just like tried to show people the love that I wanted to receive. So how comparative to that, like how would you kind of, how would you kind of compare it with yourself?
Yes, sir. Good question. I was, according to your description, definition, or whatever, I was very introverted.
Yeah.
I was introverted. I was nowhere even in the ballpark of where you were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I wonder if that is maybe a reason that those other students maybe have or may have experienced some disparities, because and again, this is not saying like, oh, they should have kept their mouth shut, they should have kept quiet, because no, that's not what high school's for. It's for sociable learning and making friends. Would you kind of do you agree with that, or would you?
100%, and that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Earlier. Yeah, I'm not saying that they deserved it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I think also with that said, again, not a bad thing to be sociable or more outspoken, especially because I'm wondering, were some of these students like, I don't know, very politically knowledgeable or like civil rights activists in terms of like, I don't know, like
the students who were on the bus who was talking about their experience.
The other black students.
They were not politically or racially representative or no, they were none of that. They were none of that. If I had to, well, not if I had, I'm saying it again, what transpired in their lives and in their interactions with the white culture or white students at Lindbergh, I'm not saying it was justified by any means.
Of course.
By any means. My, what's when you were saying, my perception of these students who were doing the talking, a couple of handfuls that I said, they were very bullish themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were very, it's my way or the highway. You need to, when I'm walking down the sidewalk, you need to move over.
Yeah.
And let me pass.
Yeah.
If I'm talking, I'm the only one talking, and I'm talking the loudest. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this were their personalities, these individuals. The two handfuls that I say use, it was all of them. That was their mentality. They was just over in your face, and it's my way or the highway. My answer is the right answer, not yours.
Yeah. I think that's also interesting because it kind of forces you to think of like, again, it being in the 80s and this was all new of like for this particular high school of like desegregating, becoming more integrated. And I think that, I read a book in my African or no, it was in my history class last year that called Warriors Don't Cry. And long story short, it's about this. It's a autobiography about a woman named Melba, who was part of the Little Rock. I want to say maybe 8 or Little Rock. I don't remember the exact number. It was a group of students that integrated in Little Rock.
Made national news and everything.
Little Rock, Arkansas. Yeah. That was obviously, I want to say in the 60s, maybe 50s. I'm bad. I don't know.
I was trying to look back at Joey to see if he knew.
Oh, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. If I remember, I'll try to look it up. But long story short, they 20 years prior to where you're at right now.
Oh, yes.
Faced a lot of animosity and was constantly spit on and talked about being pushed, shoved, you name it. She was, yeah. So I guess it just kind of like brings up the thought that, you know, as Black people and as Black Americans, like it sucks, yes, and it's not. No one's saying it's easy. We're not saying it's gonna be seamless, but in order to integrate successfully and become friends with more white people and other cultures and backgrounds, like you have to be willing to. And just from the way you're talking, it sounds like they had kind of already made up their mind about the majority of the school.
That is an accurate statement, sir. Yeah. That is a very accurate statement.
Yeah.
From my couple of handfuls.
Yeah. Which, and it just kind of, it makes me sad because I'm not discrediting their experiences or anything they experienced. And I definitely would believe them. And I do believe them. It sounds like you, whether on purpose or just because you were more introverted, you were willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and understand that it can be generational. It's taught. Hate is taught and it's spread. Right. And yeah, so I think.
Well, yeah, and the whole incident with Matt. Let's go back to Matt Spiros, who the young man on the hockey team who called me a nigger. He did that. And I talked to him and explained to him. And like I said, that's how I found out that he did that as an very, very uneducated accolade to me that, hey, what's up? Hey, we're in a hallway and there's a lot of people around, whites and a few Blacks. And I'm letting people know Greg Rhodes, that Black young man, is my friend. That's how I'm going to say, hey, what's up? Yeah. And because of the movies he had seen, but nobody, his family had used that word, and he didn't hear that word. He didn't hear that word at home. The only time he heard it at home is the movies he saw, and at the movies he said. And later I asked him, we were talking about it again in depth. And he was like, yeah, not even shows at home. It was movies. So I would venture to say his parents didn't even know that he had used that word. Yeah. Would be shocked. Yeah. But me being introverted, and I did. I was very accepting, or willing to be open and accept this experience. Yeah. So your statement is very accurate.
Yeah. You had mentioned doing cross country. When did you start that?
Sophomore year. Fall of my sophomore year.
Did you do that sophomore through senior year?
I did.
Oh, dang. Okay. So what made you do long distance running rather than sprinting?
It is so funny. You were so well versed, or you.
Well, because for a little background, love my parents. They made me do track in the 7th grade just because they wanted me to be well rounded. I get it. They wanted me to do a sport. And, I attempted just about everything, I would say. I did the long jump. I did the triple jump. And it happened. But, I was really never... I mean, I guess, I run now at the gym, but I don't really... I was never one for, sprinting or just go as long as you can, So I'm just curious what...
Well, the way you asked, what made you... Because, I mean, it's it's known. Blacks aren't known for distance running. Blacks are known for sprints.
Fast.
Yeah. And so so that's why I was talking about when I gave you the acknowledged that said you're very well versed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked running because I did track my freshman year.
Okay.
So I liked running. ... Did not realize cross country was long distance running, i.e. 3.1 miles for a race.
So you joined and you just didn't realize it was. That's so funny.
Yeah,
That's
I wish I would ask my friends because.
So freshman year you did track and you just had. Did you know about the cross country team or?
Yeah, I had heard about it and again maybe they were really pushing on my naiveness, but I had all of the white cross country team who ran track also with me freshman year. They were like, Gregory, you need to go out for cross country in the fall. You need to run cross country with us. We're on a cross country team.
Yeah.
But not one of them ever said, oh yeah, and by the way, on race day, it's not a half mile run or a quarter mile. It's 3.1 miles. Oh my God. And none of them ever said, oh yeah, in practice, you know how we just do run around the track or something. That's all we do. For cross country practice, we run in neighborhoods and they drop us off 10 miles away from the school and we have to run back. They never told me that. I found out I found all that out the fall of 1986. And
oh my gosh. That's so funny.
So I hated running, period. Mm-hmm. And I hated cross country for about the first 6 weeks of it.
Yeah.
We do these runs and, they were teammates and they were coaches, but they did not, coddle you.
Yeah.
They did not coddle you. So Gregory Charles Rhodes from the inner city of St. Louis, who had never run, 3.1 miles or let alone 1 mile in a neighborhood around a neighborhood, they did not say, okay, we're going to stay back with you. They had the route marked, as best they can mark. It wasn't marked like a race, but it was marked. So you get back and they told you, hey, why, they tried to keep us on major roads.
Yes.
So, you're on Lindbergh, you just run till you get to the 4,900. Are you serious? But they did not coddle me. Nobody waited up for me. So it was my determination and goal. I saw the slowest person up there that I had to keep that person in sight because that's the only way I was getting back to school.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's how I ran cross country. No, I did not know when I joined, or I did not say, man, I'm going to run cross country because it's 3.1 miles for a race.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's also funny just because this is breaking it down to very simple terms, but also just like the word cross country of crossing the country in terms of distance. So I love that you hated it for the first 6 weeks and then you sucked it up and did it the rest of your high school career. Did you did track your freshman year? Did you go back to do track sophomore?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did cross country in the fall and then you did track in the spring. What events did you do in track?
Track, I did, they were all running events. By my sophomore year, and after coming off of cross country, which I did horrible, but my brain or my body was like, well, you're doing it now, so you're going to stick with it. So,
might as well just long distance running.
So what the events I did open mile. I did the open 2 mile, which was stupid. Why did I do that? And then I did the 4x4, which is the mile relay.
Yes.
I did 4x8, which is the 2 mile relay.
Yeah.
So those were my 4 events I did.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is.
Did you ever win any medals or anything?
No, I did not. No.
That's okay. I mean, you stayed in shape.
I ran my fastest high school mile was a 4:57.
Oh, dang.
And that didn't even get me in the top 10.
Didn't qualify?
Oh, good night.
Gosh.
No. One of my friends, Mike Counts, who went to pharmacy school in St. Louis. I don't know if he's still in St. Louis, but anyway, Mike Counts, which was he was an awesome young man, good friend. Him and his group, the varsity, just for JV, they were running 350s, sub 350s. Yeah,
That's
they would break.
insane.
They was minus 4 minute miles. No, those were the varsity. I'm sorry, the sub. Mike Counts and the JV group that was close to me, they were running sub 4s, like the slowest on the JV team upper echelon versus me. Their slowest was a 417 mile.
Wow.
Yeah, and I ran a 457. Yeah,
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. So you did cross country and track. Were you a part of any other extracurricular activities?
I did drama my junior and senior year.
Okay, so let's unpack that because for the people that listen and know, I major in theater in school, and funnily enough, the theater bug bit me like my sophomore year of high school. And so how did you get started in that?
David Freckman, who is a lifelong good friend of mine, he ran track, he ran cross country, and he was big in drama. And he liked the backstage part of it, the being on the crew,
the tech,
and the building and stuff. Yeah, I think he might have did 1 or 2 plays or something, and that's being very lavish on him. That I can remember.
Yeah.
95% of his drama was behind the scenes. He liked. But anyway, we were doing something or said something. He goes, "You ought to go out for drama, check in the drama." And again, didn't know nothing about it. Then and went and liked it, but wasn't good enough to get any part. I got a couple of parts.
You remember what shows you did?
Let's see. Well, the biggest one I remember was the baseball one with Shoeless Joe Jackson, Damn Yankees.
Damn Yankees. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That was the biggest.
Oh, wow. You were in that?
Yeah.
Go you. Go Greg.
What else? I was in one fall one. That was a wintry one. I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Like a Christmas one?
Yeah.
Miracle, Wonderful Life, Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
Oh.
Christmas Carol is with Tiny Tim, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was in Christmas Carol.
Wait,
yeah.
Was that your first show?
Yes.
Wait, for real?
Junior year.
Oh my God.
I was like one of the townspeople in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Christmas Carol was my first show too, sophomore year.
I did not know that.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Shame on me.
No, it's
wow.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Junior year, and that was the only part. So junior year, I did that one, and then everything else was backstage, working with the props and sets, putting in between acts, putting out sets and stuff.
Yeah.
And then senior year was Damn Yankees. That was fun. That was fun.
That's cool. So you got to dance and sing in that one?
I didn't sing. I just I was one of the spectators.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, if we find pictures of that, we need to.
The Freckmans would have it. I don't have not one.
Okay. You said David?
David Freckman.
David Freckman. If you are listening, anyone that knows David Freckman, we would love pictures of Gregory Rhodes high school productions that he was a part of. Did my brain make this up? Were you also in Oklahoma?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yes. I'm trying to see, was that junior or senior year?
H-O-M-A, Oklahoma.
I'm trying to see which year that was. I want to say that senior year, because senior year, it seemed like I was in more, and I don't mean more like a lot. Like I said,
yes.
I just initially told you one.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact, junior year, I was in only one production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's great.
And that those scenes, the crowd, the spectator, the townspeople, and Christmas store or whatever, not with Tiny Tim. It was only because I didn't have the confidence to go for bigger parts or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was sure. I didn't test for any big tests. I didn't try out for any big parts.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I probably could have, because I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So when you were part of these shows, you didn't necessarily try out. That you just kind of it was just like a sign up situation.
Well, no, you did try out for certain roles or whatever, and then like when they call back or whatever, it was like, well, we're gonna go with Joe. Would you be interested in being one of the townspeople?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And townspeople could have, or mostly they don't, but could have a speaking part.
Yeah, yeah.
He said, and I was like, sure, I'll do that if that's okay. And they was like, yeah, we'll love to have you.
Oh, cool.
So that's how I was on that.
Yeah. Do you remember what the drama teacher's name was?
Mrs. Peppers.
Mrs.
I do.
Peppers.
She was awesome.
Oh,
she's a godsend.
Oh,
Mrs. Peppers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was she a white lady?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember how old she was?
Then Miss Peppers was probably in her late 30s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, late 30s, maybe 40s. Not. I wouldn't put her in her 40s, but yeah, she was probably mid to late 30s.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's so cool. I just think it's so funny that I started doing theater, and then I found out that you had done some shows, and it's just full circle. Goes all the way to the top.
Yeah. See, I did. It wasn't called drama, but in middle school we did plays. Yeah. Spring play, Christmas play, and I was in those, and I had roles.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yep. I was a little drummer boy in whatever show that was back in grade school. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I think what's cool too about that specifically is just in terms of like putting together a show and behind the scenes and like the actors and everything, it really is like a community in terms of like building it up and creating something great. So you said your friend David, you're still friends with.
Yeah, David Frickman.
Did you meet anyone else through that?
Oh, good night, Declan. I have some lifelong friends from there. Like I said, David. Shame on me on names, but I could go to my yearbook and show you and point out people that. Yeah. But friends, or my phone book, I should say.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe do you still have your yearbooks?
I think so. I'd have to look in my box.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe that could be an episode. We go through your old yearbook and I point at something and you tell me about it. Yeah. Okay, so we did cross country, track, drama. What else were we in? Also, keeping in mind, so you're doing multiple of these things. I feel like, and these are like kind of crossing in different social groups of high school.
Right.
More and more people probably knew you, also being, again, one of the only black kids at the school.
That would be accurate, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what else did you do? Or was that about it?
It was another program that sparred off, or that's not making sense. But that
veered off
from drama that I did. It was called Light, Lite. Lindbergh. I got pictures of it in my photo albums. I know that, so we can get Lindbergh Initiative something. Team Enlightenment something. Yeah. But it was like for kids or students who, let's say, was like down or wasn't having positive experiences or nice experiences at home or at school or whatever. Yeah. And you were like peer counselors or peer buddies with them. Yeah. But Miss Peppers and our psychology teacher, Miss Sanders, spearheaded that group.
Oh, cool.
Wait,
awesome. You said it was like you were like a mentor program?
Yeah. For all intents and purposes, I guess in 2020, if somebody looked at it or got the direct description of it or its synopsis, they would say it was a program for at-risk or at-risk students.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thinking about your entire high school career, what year would you say it's just like really memorable, or did you really enjoy sophomore year, or out of freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, what year would you say you maybe found, like, I don't know. Yeah.
All right. I know what you're asking. Believe it or not, Declan, that very first year, freshman year, was the defining year.
Yeah.
Because just from the classmates that I engaged with in class or whatever, or engaged with me, let's say, it was vice versa, because I was not standoffish. Even though I was an introvert, I was not standoffish.
Yeah.
I was very approachable.
Yes.
And then doing track, and for a guy who thinks that our society is just have lost their mind on athletics and stuff. I'm not against athletics, but I'm just saying the amount of emphasis we place on them, and as you go higher in college and stuff, the money, and just for a guy who fosters that, I'll just say it's a place for him, because now it comes full circle. When I was on the track team my freshman year, you meet so many people, and that's how friendships start or whatever. So between my interaction with classmates in class, and then my interaction with classmates and new people on the track team, making friends, that was the defining moment for the rest of my high school career. Because the people that I was friends with, there was not one person that I became friends with in my freshman year via class or track. The two biggest areas, of course, class going to be, because that's what I'm at school for, to go to class. Yeah. But it was not one person that I made or became friends or befriended that at the end of senior year that I was not friends with.
Wow.
So
I love that.
It was the defining.
Yeah. And you'd still say you're friends today?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I remember when I was in high school, we had a class called advisory, which was basically just all 4 years was our homeroom. And it was cool just because, freshman year, you got randomly assigned, and it was the same class that you had every year. Right. So I got to, I was with these people and got to see them, go through all the way through senior year. Did you guys have kind of like a homeroom situation, or did you have any kind of class like that, or?
No, and looking back, I'm like, man, that
or
totally
a study hall
sense.
Or something, or?
Well, we had study hall, but I never took it.
It wasn't like, but that was a class you could. Yeah. That was a class you could take.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Did you? Something else I wanted to ask. Was your? So was block scheduling a thing? Did they do A and B days, or was it you had all your classes every single day?
No, we had certain classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah. And then another thing I wanted to ask you about, because Mom had kind of talked about this. So when applying for scholarships, certain scholarships, your senior year, kind of doing that thing before you'd gone off to college, there were, from my understanding, there were some scholarships that you necessarily just couldn't get just because you didn't go to
inner city school.
Okay.
Or a predominantly black school.
Yeah. Were you able to still get other scholarships, or did that like deter you from a lot of
that man, your question is on point. That deterred me, because to say that deterred me, that means that I didn't choose to go any further. Right?
Okay.
To say I deterred you.
Yes.
Because so it was 95% on me that I didn't apply for any others, because like these handful of ones that I was not eligible for. Yeah. And I was just like, well, whatever, dude. I'll just go try to get financial aid, or I'll work myself through college.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So there was stuff out there for me, but I never knew because I never applied.
Yeah. So kind of taking a step back a little bit. So you went to Lindbergh all 4 years. And you would be bused back and forth, obviously. Yep. How do you remember about how long the bus ride was?
I got picked up in the morning at 6:24.
Oh my gosh!
It was in South County.
No, thank you.
6:24 was I had to be at my bus stop by 6:24, and we got to school by 7:30.
Oh my gosh. Almost over an hour. Damn. Wow. Okay. Wow. I cannot imagine, because we were bused, and ours was maybe, okay, because we did have to do stops at other places. So, okay, I guess I can get that. So being bused back and forth.
Being bused, I think it would be the equivalent, and I could be wrong, but it would have been bused like from our house, like where you guys got bused, going to Republic.
Yeah.
Republic.
Yeah.
So the school wasn't close. It was in South County. I lived in the inner city.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah.
So you'd be bused back and forth, obviously. Did you receive any animosity from friends who were at these other high schools that you did not go to, or family members because you'd gone to a predominantly white high school?
Oh, absolutely, Declan. And that's the dark side of the story.
Yeah. What did that
unfortunately,
look like?
Track I wasn't. So the EA track, because there's blacks on the track team. The cross country team, I was the first black in the history of Lindbergh to run cross country.
Wow, that's crazy.
Now you would think, now I wasn't any good. We know that. We already said that, but oh well, I still did it. 3 years of it. But you would think when I got on the bus or I got home that other blacks would be like, "Hey, man, good for you. Good luck, man. Go out there and become the next Michael Jordan across country." No. I was ridiculed, shamed. The very first thing I heard from the bus mates, the people on the bus, was, "They're gonna hang your black ass out in one of those neighborhoods."
Oh my gosh.
That's what's gonna happen to you. You and other expletives that they use, that blacks don't run cross country, dumbass. We're sprinting. Carl Lewis. Do you know who Carl Lewis is? And I was like, yes, I do. He doesn't run cross country, you ignorant nigger.
Yeah.
And that was from my own color. Yeah. But in the neighborhood, getting off the bus, going home, getting jumped on, because I went to Lindbergh, getting chased home. It was not, that was not the experience that I thought I would have.
Yeah.
That was not the experience.
So these people jumping you and continually bullying you, was it the same group, or about how many do you remember?
I remember all of them. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately because being a Christian, I should have I have letting it go, but I should not remember these people. But yeah.
Yes, but it made you who you are, and I think it's good to recognize that, and as horrible as it is, that you got past it.
Yeah, but that wasn't because the let's come back around, or come full circle, as they say. The funny thing is, I didn't want to go to Vashon High School, the black high school, because of all the rumors I heard about how they beat up freshmen, what they do to freshmen. And even when you're a sophomore, junior, senior, if you're not cool, or you're not one of the people that's in the in crowd, you're going to get picked on. You could go your whole 4 years of being somebody's boy or whatever. That's why I had heard about Vashon.
Yeah.
And so I go to Lindbergh, and no, it didn't happen to me at Lindbergh, but it happened to me every day getting off the freaking bus for 4 years. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to happen. I thought since I didn't go to Vashon, I would not have to face that. But little did I know, well, you didn't go to Vashon, but you rode the bus with black people who was not really excited about what you were doing. And well, why did they were on the bus? And then there was some that didn't go to Lindbergh who would wait on the bus stop.
Yeah.
And I say freshman through high school year, yes, it did. But there were some times that I would be so, I I got over being scared after about the first year and a half. But there would be times that I was just so fed up and tired and pissed off. I would get off the bus driver, because he saw what was happening.
Yeah.
Because any other time you cannot, under no circumstance whatsoever. But the bus driver would let me off either a stop before or a stop after my stop. So those kids who was waiting for me to bother me, that wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know? Just the idiots that was on the bus with me.
Yeah.
And that was no big deal, because they didn't get off at either of those stops that the bus driver let me off. And so that was the idea, that I got off at a bus stop that I didn't have the bullies waiting for me. And the ones that was on the bus, they don't get off on those stops.
Yeah.
They don't get off on those stops.
Yeah. Well, that's really nice. Like, in the silver lining, just that the bus driver, took action and, did he ever
as best he could.
Yeah. Did he ever talk to you about it or ask you? Or
no, because he knew what was going on. I mean, because they make the threats openly on the bus, and like, we're gonna kick your ass when we get off this bus. You Uncle Tom, you sell out, and there were times that I would get a little courage and be pissed off, but like, you gonna kick my ass for being on a cross country team? Mm-hmm. That's stupid. That's stupid. You don't like me, or you hate me enough that you want to kick my ass just because I'm on a cross country team.
Yeah,
that makes no sense. I'd say stuff like that, and
yeah. Obviously. What?
But I tell you what, the biggest, I guess I just said the biggest ass kicking I got was when I bought a Lindbergh school jacket. Like, do you have your school jacket?
Yes. Oh, is that green one we saw?
Yeah, that satin green jacket. Yeah, because I go to that school. I support my high school, and they were like, "You ignorant fucker, are you? These white people got you wrapped around their finger. You gonna get on this bus with that bright ass lime green jacket that say Lindbergh? Why wouldn't I? I go to Lindbergh. Are you gonna get one?" Ass kicking commenced.
Oh my gosh. And obviously, please share as little or as much as you want to. Is there any like one thing they did or one instance you can think of that just was a turning point? Or, I mean, it all sounds like a living hell, to be honest. And again, I feel my heart breaks that you went through that. But is there like any one kind of instance or altercation that you can think of that just was too much, or,
When a young man who I thought was kind of a little more acquaintance to me.
Yeah.
But I found out that day, and I say to this day, he was just baiting me. He was befriending me to get close to me. But today I had a shirt on, and they started with me before we got off the bus, the bullying kids, and they ripped that shirt off me. That was the lowest point. Mm-hmm. That was the lowest point. That was the lowest point. Almost lower than when my mom said I wasn't supposed to be born.
Yeah.
That was the low point.
Yeah. How many kids was it again?
It was three young men.
Three of them?
That was on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking back, if you could say anything to I don't even know if these people are still alive or anything. I assume you're probably not friends on Facebook or anything.
Declan,
not
you're
sending,
awesome.
not
You
sending
are awesome.
friend requests anytime soon. But if you could just say anything to them, and just like, what would you say?
I would say, I hope your life turned out or is good. I sincerely say that as a Christian. My life has been good to me. Life has continued to be good for me and got better. And I wish you hadn't have done what you did. Not just that day you ripped that shirt off me and humiliated me, because I had to get off that bus with a ripped shirt on and go home with a ripped shirt off off my body and had to face that at home, even though I initiated or did nothing to cause that. I really wish you hadn't did that, because again, that was mentally and emotionally, that was a low point for me. And it took years. And when I say years, I'm not talking about all the rest of my years at Lindbergh or my years through college. I'm talking about years, like decades, for me to be able to grow past that and finally say, you know what, it happened. It was a bad time, a bad day. And I forgive those 3 young men who did that to me, whom one I don't remember his name, but I forgive you. But it took years, so I wish you hadn't did that, because it was my lowest point mentally and emotionally.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
Kind of ending on a sort of higher note. One thing I very much loved about high school, and guys, I know I've done my teacher rant before. We all know how much I love teachers and how much they are severely underpaid and everything. And we've been known. So we talked about Miss Pepper, Miss Sanders. Were there any other teachers that you think about over your high school career that just really stood out to you, or made you? One that comes to mind specifically for me, just like Mr. Alsop, my sophomore year honors English 2 class, just taught me how to think critically and view the world in a different way. And I could name so many others: Miss Criswell, Miss Savington, Miss Spence, Hanlon, Band. Any teachers you shout out or would love
from high school? Or yes, and I need to go back and do a typo. Shows my age is getting to me, and and all the medication I guess I'm on from this disease. The psychology teacher, abnormal psychology teacher, was not Mrs. Sanders. That was another teacher. The abnormal psychology teacher, who was a godsend 10 times over, was Miss Snodgrass. So the two teachers for me in high school that, and I hate to say this, because if mom ever is mom listening, or Christy, my wife, hears this, it's going to break her heart, but it's a fact. And I don't know how you'll feel. I don't want to break your heart, but if it was not for Mrs. Peppers and Mrs. Snodgrass, I would not be here today. I would have taken my life.
Yeah.
Especially after that incident with getting my shirt ripped off me.
Yeah.
Those 2 teachers, as so many teachers out there is listening to this, or just as you said, how your teacher rant, they were godsends, and they knew what to say, when to say it, how to say it, and they knew what to do when it needed done. Not a minute too soon, and not a second too late. Miss Peppers and Miss Snodgrass was those 2 teachers for me who made high school.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Miss Peppers and Miss Snodgrass. Yep.
I love that. I don't know if they're still with us at all. If anyone knows them or anything, we would love for them to reach out, or knows family, a family of family, friends of family. We would love to just make that known that you positively impacted, several lives, but specifically this one of Gregory Rhodes, and we are very appreciative of that. Also, me 10 times over, just because I would not be talking to you sitting here right now if without that. What's a high point this week or this month? Or what's going on?
Well, it's a high point that even how our weekend started, considering we went camping with 4 other couples from church this weekend, and to Weston, Missouri, and we toured the town and did different things. But when we were back at the campsite, we played cornhole games, and we played on McKenna's game
my
that she made,
gosh.
the Vinos.
Yeah.
And it was. I mean, the other couples who hadn't seen this, these games, they were just ranting about McKenna and the detail and how awesome these wars were. But me as her dad, just getting to play on them was awesome. Like, hey, my daughter made those.
Yeah.
So that was a high point for me.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's good. Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, a high point for me. Yes, considering what he was talking about, unfortunately, one of our family dogs, Maddie, passed away on Friday, very kind of unexpectedly. And so that was really hard for us this weekend. We actually just got back from saying goodbye to her one last time at the vet clinic. But yeah, before I had gotten that call from Mom and McKenna, I had gotten accepted as a cast member at Spring Vegas sketch show in Springfield, Missouri, which I'm very excited about. It's sort of kind of like an SNL style sketch comedy show, and I think it's gonna be really exciting. And I always love making people laugh, and comedy is truly something that I am very passionate about and I love. And the fact that I get to do it with a whole group of people for other people is perfect. It's amazing. So yeah, that's my high note of the week. So yeah, thank you for listening. Those last 3 people listening right now. Thank you so much for making it to the end. We just want to say we love you guys so much. Thank you for all the support. And one last time, thank you for, not last time, many more times, but thank you for traveling down the roads less traveled. Bye, guys.